Welcome, welcome. We're so excited to have you all here.
Yeah, thank you so much for coming and finding out more about us here at Book Angel. Great. Well, I'm Kathy Hopkins Davis, and I am the oldest of 5 children, and I was born in the segregated south of Athens, Georgia, in the 1950s. And there, I had a choice to go to a school on the other side of town. And what happened there, I was able to go to that other school, and it was a cultural shock for me, and it was so hard. But I got through that, and right before I graduated from high school, 3 months before I graduated from high school, my father died. But I continued on. I graduated from high school and I entered into college. While I was in college, something really smacked me real hard in the face, and that a professor told one of my classmates, "Shut up. You can't ask questions in this classroom." So what we did afterward, we formed a study group with that guy and I and the other black students in the classroom, and they would give me the questions, and because of my complexion, he would talk to me. So I would ask the question when we got in class to get our questions answered, and in that way we were able to go ahead and complete the course and finish our work successfully.
I am Rachael Yvonne Davis. I am Miss Plus World Humanitarian Ambassador. Book Angel is an amazing family passion project, and I'm just inspired by my mom, by her story, and I do everything that I can to try to support her, to try to support Book Angel, and just to bring greater awareness about education and literacy.
Book Angel is a 501c3 organization, and we started as I realized the importance of reading and how children were not getting books. They had not held a book. They didn't have the skills they needed to start kindergarten. So it made it a hard pull to get them where they should be by the end of kindergarten. But we did it. But it snowballed, and the root cause that I discovered why they were having such a hard time in reading is because they didn't have books at home, and they were not being read to at home. You wouldn't believe how many children started school who have never ever held a book, who've never been read a story to. That blew my mind.
And so to combat that challenge, we started collecting books around the holidays to give away as gifts. We gave them away to churches, to classrooms, and over the years it really, really grew and it took off. And that's how Book Angel was started almost 15 years ago, but it's only been in the last 5-6 years that we've operated as an official 501c3 nonprofit organization.
My ultimate vision of Book Angel is that we have an office warehouse space. I have vans, I have employees, I have a center, office in that warehouse space, but also a center where people can come to get resources. Parents can get training on how to read to their children. Teachers that are struggling with getting their children to read, that they get equipped with what they need to help reach those children. It's too many of them that's being skipped over and passed on without that solid foundation. That is a must.
Yeah, so the vision for Book Angel, to date, we've been able to collect and give away over 60,000 books and over $1 million in resources, home goods, furnitures. If you can imagine it or think of it, we've been able to receive it and distribute it out into the community. And as you can see by this little space, we are busting out at the seams. We do a lot of work here in this space that was donated to us by Higher Praise Family Church, but also out of, our mom's home. And so in the next 5 years, we would hope to acquire just that office warehouse space where we could, receive and distribute out donations, but then also have a space for the community to come to receive those resources as well. lot of health challenges. I'll let you tell your story.
First, I had sarcoidosis.
Yeah.
Then I had a stroke.
Yeah.
And that put me in retirement as a teacher.
Yeah.
After being told in the hospital you can't go back home.
It's recording now. You can say something.
Oh, really?
You can say something.
Well, I hope y'all read it and get your books for your library. And if you don't have any books, I got plenty of books. We got about 7,000 books at the church.
We're going to give them all away too, huh?
Huh?
We're going to give them all away too, huh?
Mm-hmm. I cried because I want to get back to my students. I'm sorry, y'all.
It's okay.
But
it forced her into retirement. And so that was really, really hard. And after she got home, she had to go to inpatient rehab and relearn how to walk and move again. But then shortly after that, she then got diagnosed with breast cancer. And so there was a whole nother journey. But I think with our family and with Miss Kathy, what I'm so inspired by is that even in the midst of that pain, she stayed focused on purpose, and she never lost her faith in what she felt like the assignment that God had for her life. And so she continued to push through. And it's so unique that as she got stronger, so did Book Angel. And we still continued to get more donations, even as she was getting sick. And I remember times like us being at home counting books, like it was so hard for her to pick up a book, but that turned into rehab for her, you know, working on the books and peeling off the stickers to put them on the inside. And she was so diligent and so consistent and so faithful. And she's just a walking, living, breathing testimony that even if you're hurt, even if you're older, even if you're sick, you can still give back and you can still inspire your community and you can still make lasting impact and change.
Yep. The history of us, our legacy.
Yeah.
Because we're not allowed to read. They gouged out their eyes for trying to learn how to write their ABCs. They would sell them off from their families for trying to learn how to read. Every child, every single last one of them deserve to learn how to read and to write. And I'm not going to stand by and allow that illiteracy to continue. And I challenge everybody that can read and write that you need to reach out and help somebody else.
Yeah.
You don't have to know them. You can volunteer and go to the school and help read. Mm-hmm. You can read to your child, your neighbor's child. You can't just leave it up to the school system.
Yeah.
They're overworked, they're underpaid. I know you may have to cut that out, but it's the truth.
No, honey, keep forward.
You know, many times they don't even have the bandwidth to do the electronic teaching that COVID had caused. Mm-hmm. And the teachers may not be skilled enough to pull it out. What's in that child? They don't see it. What they see is what television has told them. They don't know that we can learn. These children that have economic disadvantages, so they still have a brain and they still can learn.
And they still deserve the opportunity to reach their fullest potential. Mm-hmm. And I think for me, like Mom said, the legacy just of us as humanity, as a people, but even in my own family, I've been really inspired just by the love and the outpouring that I've received from others. And for me, on our mom's side of the family, I'm the first grandchild to graduate from high school, and soon I'll be the first doctor in my family on both sides of the family. And so just being able to push and to continue on to say in the midst of extreme health challenges or circumstances, I mean, things have not been easy for me either. I've had terrible accidents. I've broken my neck, my back, but I've still been able to push through and persevere. And I believe that anyone, it doesn't matter what it is that you want to do, you can do it. But I think having the fundamental skills of literacy and knowing how to read makes all the difference in your future. And your future is so bright, and it doesn't matter what you're going through, it's so bright. And so I think just being able to be a testimony and to be a guiding light to others is something that really inspires me, and that gives me the motivation to stick with Book Angel when it's hard.
Yeah. And also let me say that our future, everything, depends on what we do with these children right now. We can't wait. They don't graduate from high school, they fail high school. That problem didn't start in high school. It started before they started school, and we're not recognizing that. And you got to get to the root problem that you have to read as a parent. And then two, the children have to read, and then they need something at home to read. Well, what makes us stand out? First of all, very hands-on. I'm in the community. I'm out with the table and books, and we're passing out books. COVID slowed me down for a point, but then someone came up with the idea, well, we just put the books in the bags, and as the car drive by to get food, we give them a bag of books, But that's what makes us stand out. The reason we stand out is God driven, that He put in me. It's my calling on my life to help our children. And I can't quit. I can't stop. I have to go forward and do all I can, while I can.
Absolutely. And I think other things that make us unique, like she said, we're really hands-on in the community. We're, from the community. We know what it's like to kind of pull yourselves out. So I think there's another layer degree of compassion. We're not so far removed from things that we're just, we're not sensitive. But then we've also been able to partner and collaborate with other unique organizations and leverage technology so that even in the midst of the pandemic, and we found ways to make it fun. And so we're continuing to explore how to implement technology into what we're doing here on a daily basis here at Book Angel. And so I think just that drive, that passion, that resiliency that we have in our unique stories, those are some of the things that make us different. And not to mention we have great personalities too. There is I think one of my favorite quotes says, education is a companion in which no future can depress, no crime can destroy, no enemy can alienate, and no nepotism can enslave. Education is the foundation of everything, and with education, there's not any door that you can be prevented from entering into, because if you can't enter the door, you can create your own building. You can create the door and help create a pathway and show others the way. And that's something that I've personally experienced in my own life, and I know my mom has experienced it, and in so many different ways. And I think, what do you want to add to that? Randall.
That's good. You're right. Woo, baby.
Some grit. Okay, let's start there. Get your mind right.
All right. Get your grip, girl. You want the big girl panties on?
Say it like that.
You gotta gird up. Girdle up too.
You go network. Look good when you go network. Snatch that waist, honey.
I know that's right.
No, I'm playing.
But we got to. Oh, the way you do it. But you gotta know that this is a calling on your life, and God put that calling in you. He gave you the vision. You're the one got to make it clear, and you're the one got to go forward with it when there's no one else there. Your friends, your family, they'll let you down. They'll think, oh, it's just a nonprofit, it's no big deal. They're not realizing that those clients or customers that you have are here waiting on you. They're already on their way. They're standing in line waiting to get that book. What do you mean you don't feel like it? You don't have time for that today. So you've got to know and understand your calling.
Yeah.
And be there for them regardless. It doesn't matter how you feel. You're gonna have days when you don't feel like doing it. You don't feel like being bothered. You'll even quit. I've quit the night before and got up the next morning and kept going. So you're gonna have to do that and know that that's what you are to do. Our world, our community, the people you serve are depending on you.
And then with the nonprofit, I think just aside from that, it's important to just understand basic business skills. I mean, it's still a business. So you need to know how to, create a spreadsheet, and you need to understand how to track your expenses and see what your profits are and things like that. I think that's really important. I think it's really important to have good communication and leadership skills because it's going to take a team. You really can't do it all by yourself. You can do a lot on your own, but you can't do it all by yourself. And I think it's important to know when to let go and when to outsource certain things. And so those are just a few of the things that I think are really essential when you're starting a nonprofit. So networking, maybe getting connected with attorneys to help make sure that your paperwork and things are in order and that you're protected. Those are some really good things to be mindful of. Thank you so much for coming and just shining some light on us. We really, really appreciate it. We're so grateful for you.
I am elated that you all chose Book Angel to come and see us and talk to us and know what we're doing and see what we do. It is a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, our slogan for Book Angel is slaying the Goliath of illiteracy, one boy at a time, one girl at a time, with one book at a time.
Thank you so much, SkyHigh Magazine, for coming to hang out with us today. We really appreciate you.